All right, we're back. Rex just wrote a song. Hey, no problem. Just writing my song.
What is it?
What do you got?
What is that?
Keep it up.
What are you playing?
Oh no, I didn't. Joe just made that up. I mean, it's possible. It's not
But it's
unlikely.
been known to happen.
It has, yeah. But not recently. We just we can probably sort of we can tell you this, Joe, and if anyone happens to have gotten this deep into the show, they will learn this as well. But we do have a record kind of in the works.
Armours?
Strange. Sort of know some of the weirdness behind this, but we're coming really close to having the last bit of it wrapped up. It's basically a couple of tracks that Christina's daughter Larissa has got to do on the viola, and we done.
Wow.
But there's only like 1.5 new songs that we've done, right, Christina?
Yeah.
Like the material's been, some of it's covers and some of it's unfinished business. Things that sort of date back to the very early days. We weren't quite sure what we were gonna be when we grew up as a band. So it's really kind of been fun to say, cool, that's not like where we ended up, but there's this song, and we can tackle it and not worry so much about like if it fits in with everything else on this record. And she would be the one to be like, but what about this thing that we started to work on? I'd be like, yeah, that's a pretty weird one. And she'd be like, yeah, that's a pretty weird one. Do this.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was right, as always. You know, when it comes to like picking the material, Christina's absolutely correct. There was one brand new song, and then there was one that was just a bunch of lyrics, like these really strange lyrics that was like, okay. I mean, you can explain that one, Christina.
Which one are you talking about?
Oma.
The one with the strange lyrics.
Oh yeah. So
strange lyrics.
all right.
Less strange lyrics. It had no other. It had no music.
Yeah. So that was my daughter and her friend Nate were forming a metal band, or
What the hell?
About
Okay, that's cool.
doing some symphonic metal maybe.
Ooh.
And
right.
yeah, and they were having trouble coming up with, lyrics for a song. And Rex sits down and he writes this whole...
just like kind of to be like a little bit, wow, I can demonstrate exactly what that, this is kind of cool. So like what they're explaining to me, the ground rules for symphonic metal. And as they explain it, they said it basically has to have kind of like a cosmology or like a world, a mythology kind of to it.
Dragons and shit, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it's got to have some dragons and shit, right? So their question is like, they're getting the songs done, and the songs are killer. They're all super talented. They're like, but we need to have a mythological story that all these songs fit into. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's like prog rock, but I kind of, I know how that works, but I never wrote anything like that because I'm always, doing somewhere between, Bob Dylan and the Jam or whatever, little weird, kind of weird pop songs, but pop songs, stuff that's kind of stays within that 3.5 minute structure. Maybe the weirdest thing I would do, maybe the weirdest thing I would do would be like sort of, like a Neil Young, like Cortez the Killer kind of thing, So they're saying like, yeah, there's got to be like a structure for it. So, but then this is what they're saying. They're saying, but all the mythologies are taken. It's all tapped out. I mean, these guys do the dragons. these guys do, you know, the Norse mythology, and these guys do, you know, Roman mythology.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sitting there thinking, so that they need not just like words for one song, they need like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I thought of this, which I actually happen to have right here.
Nausicaa.
Nausicaa.
This is a manga by the Studio Ghibli guy.
Okay.
You know, My Neighbor Totoro and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, it's got. So
If
I've
you
read
don't
all
know
the
about it, Joe, you need to show your kids all of the Miyazakis.
Okay.
like Spirited Away and
My
Yeah,
Neighbor
yeah, yeah,
Totoro.
yeah. Spirit Away.
Kiki's Delivery Service and that stuff.
Okay.
So this was his whole thing. I was like, well, that could be it, you know. So they're doing their song, and you know, it goes, and it's different structurally from what I'm used to, because it goes, you know, this and then that and then this, and then it goes off on this tangent, and the time signature changes, and I'm like, that's cool. So I just wrote. I was drunk, probably. Definitely drunk. So I wrote this whole story, and then they like didn't do the band.
Oh.
So like, Christina has this book that has all of our songs,
Yeah.
like all the ones we've totally never done, and most of them, you know, she'll like find it and be like, Rex, remember this one? I'm like, yeah, I took, yeah, and it goes like this, and but these weird little like lyrics were just sitting in there. And there was
Without a
no
home.
song. There was no song, yeah. So we were talking about what ones we could do, and she's like, this is really cool. I'm like, it doesn't exist.
But you did say every time we did talk about it, you're like, it's Bowie. It's Bowie. It's Bowie in my head. It's not metal in my head, but I'm sure it could be a great symphonic metal song, but it's Bowie in my head. So,
because that, yeah, like I could think of it as like, you know, as a storytelling thing. You know, it could be like, you know, some Diamond Dogs type thing.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, well, so let's do it. I'm like, well, I don't. So I think we kind of just wrote the music that night, sitting outside. And I was like,
or
okay.
you?
Would it exist without you?
I'm just the one that was pushy and nudgy.
And therefore it wouldn't exist without you.
There you go.
But it was just kind of fun. And I would like ask her, is it okay if I just do this for, you know, a bar and a half and I'm out of it and we're into the next thing? And she's like, yeah. And I kind of realized that the trick with this kind of song is like, it sounds really weird when you're making it up because it doesn't follow a normal structure and it just goes from this thing to the next thing to the next thing. And it sounds kind of like you just put a bunch of bullshit together, because you did actually put a bunch of bullshit together. But once you play it and record it and like, you know, understand how it makes all these different turns. And then, you know, so I was like, okay, so I got to write the drum parts. I programmed the drums, got our drummer John in to play the drums. And then it starts, you got to think of it as a cover. You got to think of it as if like it already exists and that's the way it goes. And if you don't want to play it that way, then fuck you, you're wrong.
Then you're wrong.
And then it's like, oh, cool, that worked. So yeah, we did this like weird Bowie song.
Awesome.
I love it. I think it's great.
Sweet.
Oh no, it was a lot of fun. I think that was one of the points in this process where we were just like,
Wait, you didn't say the part where you actually gave it away to somebody to cover.
oh yeah, I did. Yeah, that's right.
You gave it away.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, not.
I was like, wait, so we don't get to do this song? You wrote it and then you gave it to somebody? We don't get to do it? And he's like, no, you don't understand. They're covering one of our songs and we're covering somebody else's song from the same group.
Yeah, it's this, one of these sort of round robin, people write songs for each other. And like, it just made sense because the guy I was supposed to write a song for is a big Bowie fan. Mm-hmm. Like he's does a lot of, he's a really talented musician and does a lot of covers, and like Bowie's like his guy. So I was like, oh cool, well then he'll do it more like Bowie than we will. And we'll do it like Bowie with us singing it, you know, or something. Yeah,
So that exists.
That's awesome.
that exists now. Yeah, and then a
Wow.
lot of other things. I mean, but that was kind of the one where we just like sort of really said all everything's off the table, and we
Yeah.
can do absolutely whatever,
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But that was like, yeah, that's why I say there's 1.5 new songs.
1.5.
Well, you asked me what the singles should be. I think that one should be a single of ours.
Steven thinks it's really one of the coolest things we've ever done. Steven Wilson from
See?
Plastic Soul.
That's really cool.
mixing it. Yeah.
You love Plastic Soul, Joe, right?
I love Plastic Soul. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
How can you not, right?
So good.
He's working on a new one.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Bit by bit, he's just moved, and he's in the Bay Area, and it's things are a mess right there too. There's they still got the fires, they got the lockdowns, and,
Jesus.
and
He's an essential worker.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you, but that's I feel bad for those guys. Like, holy fuck, like, just no break. Like, they're the ones that have to carry on through all the bullshit day in, day out, no matter what. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
But yeah, he'll get to it, and yeah, I mean, I know he has a ton of songs, and then the challenge for him is that his band is down here,
Okay.
and
But he's got a place to stay.
There you go.
he does,
Yeah.
he
And a
does.
place to record.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and in better times we can actually we've actually recorded drums for him down at Christina's place.
So you've got like the full studio there, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's kind of just it wasn't the goal, but we ended up having everything we needed anyway. We've got it's actually pretty nice now. I mean, I think the only thing that we really lack to call it a studio is genuine soundproofing in there.
Soundproofing. Yeah, we could do that, but I don't know. It's a nice room.
It's a very nice room, and typically it's a rehearsal room.
Yeah.
That when bands that are touring come by to play our live shows that we used to do. God, it's been almost a year, Christina.
I know.
They would have that room to rehearse, and they could borrow our instruments, and we would rehearse in there, and then we would like kick it over to record a little bit, then we'd have to reconvert it back to live rehearsal, and for this past time we have not had to do that, so the drums
we haven't broken down the drums this whole time.
No, it used to be once a month, break those drums over, take them over to the bar. 4 different drummers would beat the shit out of them. We would lose little pieces of it and bring it back and hope for the best. But yeah, we got some nicer mics for sure, and set them up permanently. Had a guy come in and safely, socially, distantly change all the drum heads and tune them all.
That was an experience.
That was, yeah.
He tuned all of the drums and replaced all of the heads and put little pieces of tape in places to do things, to change tone and things.
Yeah, just not having to pack it up for the gigs just means that, to go from tracking drums to tracking an amp to doing vocals or having Larissa do the viola is just a few switches of stuff, just to just move this boom arm here and switch to this input, and
you're good to go.
So that's.
But you give anything to take those drums down, take them to the bar, though.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Although we're gonna suck when we get back to playing. I mean, like I guess everyone is gonna suck, kinda.
We haven't practiced. We've only recorded.
Yeah,
that's different. That's a whole different animal.
It's a whole different thing, and I mean, I keep thinking about it because you can't stop thinking about what it's going to be like to get on stage again.
You know what? That's a very good point you bring up, because I keep thinking like, oh, this is just going to be the best when shows up because open up again. But it's like, but not if you guys can practice. There's going to be a practice period.
So bad.
You're going to get up there and be like, all right, it's been a year and a half. Let's fucking do it. Oh shit.
But the thing is, everyone's going to suck. There's like a great equalizer. Like you can go see all your favorite bands kind of suck, and you'll still be happy.
You'll still be happy to be
So,
there.
I mean, you'll be like, oh, cool. I mean, the fact that it's just, a clam bake won't matter.
Clam
Thankfully.
Awesome. That's funny.
That was funny.
I mean, it'll be equalized. Everyone will be kind of bad, and everyone will be so happy to be hearing it
Just
that
won't
they
matter.
won't care. So
And everybody will be so happy to be playing it.
Everybody will be so happy to be playing it that they won't
and
care.
seeing people out in the audience. Yeah. It'll be fun.
It will be. I try not to think about it too much.
I know, because we don't know how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one knows.
But we have, we're like this close to knowing what all of our records are going to be like through
August.
All the way through to August.
We got some cool stuff.
We do.
You guys are awesome. Yeah.
Really.
Oof.
Yeah. Somebody you're going to want to talk to too.
Anyone. Talk to anybody.
The Sorrows record. Arthur Alexander.
Just hope nobody gets this. Because we're not supposed
What?
to say.
What?
Let's just hope nobody's paying too close attention to us after the hour mark, because we're not supposed to be saying some of this.
Okay, well, I'm just saying it's somebody that Joe is going to want to talk to.
Yeah, we say it this way. We've got some kind of like, I mean, not household names necessarily, but legacy artists that have been a big part of some interesting history.
Well, we can talk about the Stan Laurels though.
We talk about the Stan Laurels. The Stan Laurels is happening. Yeah,
That's
and
big.
Dolph.
And of course, yeah, we have some artists who are doing their second records with us.
Yeah.
Their second records with us, because you'll have a really cool record from Dolph Chaney.
Dolph Chaney is perfect, actually. I finally got all the way through his record. That sounds like it was a struggle, but no, you've given me so much music that I'm picking away at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dolph Chaney.
And his next one is sort of a next level type thing too. It's gonna be.
I'm gonna get him on here soon. I might do that. I'm gonna try and squeeze him in before Christmas. That would be fun.
Oh, you should. He's Dolph. I've known Dolph for like 30-ish, 25-ish years, something like that. But I've never met him.
Never met him, man.
In person.
I know Dolph from, the ancient days of the internet when you first got online and you found
ICQ and AOL and all that.
AOL, yeah. I think I was literally, had an AOL account at that time. And we used to trade songs back when, even though you were online, you couldn't transmit music.
Right.
Because files were too big. Yeah. So we'd be telling each other about these songs that we were writing, but we had to physically mail them to each other. So that's how far back.
Tapes. Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, he's doing such cool stuff now. So he'll be back. Nick Frater will be back.
Nice.
Brother Steve will be back in the later part of summer.
It's hard to take on new people when the ones that have already released on your label are still happy and doing.
And those are big ones, because I love Nick Frater. Like, he's a monster. That Nick Frater one was fantastic.
Yeah, we're excited about that. And Nick, I think we talked a little bit about this last time, but he's like all these guys are really, but I mean, he's like such a team player, and he'll do mixes for us.
I saw he's right there, the mastering on the Yule wave.
Yeah, he does a lot of mastering for us, and he's really good at it, So yeah, and he's just done a lot for us above and beyond. He's got another neat thing coming out. It's not a record that we're doing. I'm not even sure if it's going to have a physical component to it, but it's really cool. It's like a history of Croydon, which is where he lives in South London. And he's just kind of collected all this historical information, and it's like a multimedia thing. Like Nick, he'll do like his big pop record, and then his like esoteric, fascinating, detaily little project thing, and then the next big pop record. So yeah, the Croydon, the history of Croydon thing, he'll just send us these graphics, these historical graphics that he's found, that he's like altered, and it's going to be cool. It's definitely going to be cool. So
that's awesome.
That'll sort of appear in the interim.
Nice.
Yes, we're very excited about 2021.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Brother Steve are awesome too. They're a good.
Yeah.
Team.
That's a really exciting.
Have you heard of SAR? TSAR?
No.
Ah.
That's their former band. Or like 3 of them were in the band Czar, which was a sort of 90s LA sort of glam pop band. And they're really cool. They were really cool. And they were one of
three of the 4 members, right, are the brothers Steve.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they have the new name, and they do all the splits the same way.
Oh wow!
Although technically, the brothers Steve actually predates Czar, because the brothers Steve was a band they had in Santa Barbara, and they were all in college in Santa Barbara. Never recorded anything. 3 of them went on to be in Czar in LA.
Okay.
Got signed, got screwed over.
Oof.
Got dropped. There's a lot of stories like that. And then a little bit after Czar, they reformed the previous band as a totally new band.
Okay. That's awesome.
The Czar recordings still exist, right, Rex?
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. There's a interesting Czar related project that might materialize.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds awesome.
I know. I should have told you about this before I said anything about it.
Oh, you always spring stuff on me.
I said might. I didn't say like,
Yeah, but you Striker's the kind of guy that might is like.
Christina, aren't you excited about this thing I didn't tell you about?
Yeah, of course I am. It has to do with Czar. How can I not be excited?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't mean that about this in particular.
In general.
In general, I try not to do that. I know it's not good.
I dig it. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
But
It's
you
fine.
know what? I mean, it was definitely a big deal.
Unless
For us.
it turns into a weekly singles series that I didn't agree to.
Oh shit!
Shit.
You don't think I should
too
have 2
late
of
for
those
that
going
now.
at the same time? You don't think it's a good idea that Irene can do one series and I can do a totally different series? That doesn't seem like a great idea. Joe should talk to Irene now.
It's always been a great idea,
I
but
talked to Irene.
man,
She
the
seems
work.
Yeah, Joe should talk to Irene.
nice. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll run a goddamn
Irene
single
just
series
stuff.
for you. Just let me know. It's fine.
What'd you say, Christina?
Irene should send Joe her stuff.
She should.
We
Irene,
would have
send
to
me your
see single.
I have
But yeah.
We don't
She's
have
on
any.
this one, is she not?
She's on the Christmas.
She's on the
Yuletide
Christmas one. Yeah.
One, and I think.
But she's got
on-
recordings that she can send, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We don't have any here. That's what I'm saying.
Well, tell her
Yeah.
you talk to Irene and say
Her single is on 9th Wave, so it's on the next.
on the next one. Okay.
Next
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Cool.
And
It's the Zoom low.
oh, yeah, that was actually a pretty mellow one compared to some of them.
Pretty mellow.
But yeah, we had this whole. It was a challenge. It was a real challenge scheduling this stuff because all of a sudden we're like. I mean, it's a big deal to us, Joe, to have, a full month at least to work every week. Yeah, it's a big deal. There's a lot of people that will kind of get something and then get it right out the door. And that's good. I kind of really like that spontaneity, but if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
So, we like a lot of time to make sure folks have the record before it comes out.
Yeah.
So there's like reviews and airplay happening before the record comes out. So,
Right.
I like that, but I don't trust it to be something that a lot of other people, will pick up on.
Yeah.
So we needed to space these things out, based on who was closer to being done and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we can say what's in March, right? It's our first album from them, but not our first
Okay.
time with them.
You can.
Yeah.
Good.
So March is going to be we after like all this cool stuff we've done with them over the years, we're finally getting a full record from the 4019s out.
Oh.
So, yeah, we're really excited about that one.
Very,
Jesus.
very excited.
That's March. That's right around the corner.
And it's really special to us, the ones that we're getting out that are, the people that we would be playing live with right now if we could. So 4019's definitely, and still working the Leslie Pereira record.
Nice.
They're working on another one too.
Are they? Oh,
Mhm.
shit. That's crazy.
Christina just sprung something on me.
Oh, there you go. The tables have turned. How did it feel, Rex?
Was revenge sweet, Christina?
Yeah.
The kitty just closed the door.
I saw that happen.
And now he's trying to
Now
get
he's
out.
like,
I'm
now
out
he's
of
like,
here.
Zara,
Faster.
Zara. Come on, Zara. He's
So
gonna
weird.
freak out.
So freaking.
But yeah, there will be vinyl too, Joe.
yeah, there's vinyl this year.
Jesus.
At least
It's. I was talking to, I talked to Wally last night from.
Oh, yeah.
Music. He's fantastic.
I got to go back and watch that. I've never
good. I love his business
yeah.
model. He's like, I'm not making any money on this, so you may as well just have it. Hi, kitty. No.
Yeah, we don't come from the level of comfort that allows us to do that. But like, God bless Wally. He's just such a great guy, such a good supporter. Look at this beastie.
Amazing. Kitty.
Look at that baby.
So.
He's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
This is Zorro.
That's Zorro.
Anyway,
What a sweetie.
I can't get enough of him. I stare at him all the time.
Aww.
They give you they put on a good show for you.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. They they're so similar, and like you can walk into the room and they'll be like in the exact same position as each other.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like bad photoshopping. Like someone just like took the
It's
cat
like a
icon,
Rorschach.
just pasted it over here because they were too lazy to make a new cat. They're
funny.
great. They're so cool. They both
Yeah.
They have the notch out of their ear. You want to explain this, Christina?
Oh yeah, the one ear is clipped on each cat.
Why is that?
The ASPCA animal.
Yeah.
What does it stand for?
Animal
Right.
Society.
The American Society for the Protection
Of animals.
Care
Okay.
of Animals, or something close to that.
So, if an animal is brought to them for neutering or spaying,
Mhm.
they'll clip the ear after doing so. So if they end up back in the wild, they won't get trapped and brought back.
Oh, so they know that they've been.
That they're already fixed.
So the first thing happens when I see these cats is I was like, well, this one at least has a notch out of his ear.
They both
And then
do.
the other one's got the same damn notch out of the same ear.
So they're
Yeah.
exactly the same, and now the notch is not the identifier. So how do you tell them apart?
Their tails. One's bigger, one's smaller. But Ziggy's got a crazy tail. It's a huge fan tail, and it kind of zigzags. And there's a kink at the end of his tail. Somehow, I don't know how. And Zorro is just, he's more compact.
Yeah.
And a little bit not as fluffy.
Yeah.
And he's just always in your face. Ziggy's a little bit more. So it's personality and tail, I guess.
Personality and tail. Fair enough.
As recently as 2 days ago, one of them was like up on a chair
Mhm.
looking at Christina, and I couldn't tell which one it was. So I asked, because you couldn't see the tail.
Yeah.
I asked her, and she admitted that she wasn't sure either.
I couldn't see the tail.
The tail, you screwed, you know. But I mean, it does seem
But
like
it's only
one of
been
them.
2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
And it does seem like one of them is going to continue to be larger.
Mm.
You know?
We said that was Zorro. That seems like he'll be the bigger one.
Oh no, that was I was wrong. That was Ziggy. I was holding. Ziggy's the one that's gonna get bigger because he's got the thick paws. I didn't realize it until he jumped
look
down.
at the tail. You just
fell
grabbed one. You must be. Here's the one I want. Oh.
Oh.
That was Ziggy. Ziggy's gonna be the bigger one.
That's
I
hilarious.
have to admit.
Classic.
So funny.
Woo.
They're sweet. Well, you guys got a lot. You got a lot going on. It's awesome. I'm glad for you. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that you've got so many artists wanting to do another album with you.
We're really lucky.
Must be doing something right, eh? It's not just like a one and done. See you.
That was kind of the dream, wasn't it, Christina?
Yeah, I mean that's why we work so hard, because we want to give that to them. They deserve it. They deserve their day in the sun, you know. And whatever we can do to get it, we're gonna do that.
There 2 days in the sun, or
a week,
you know, 3 or more. But yeah, I mean, I think that was always the goal, is to be home and be family for these people.
That's good.
And you know, for people that never would have known about each other, I mean, it's not like that we're really badass or anything like that, but there's a special thing when you realize that like there are people playing on each other's records and collaborating in these really cool ways, especially now, when recording in a room is kind of not a thing, that these people are collaborating in, and you know, they know each other because of us. And that's not us being boastful about that so much as it's just cool.
It's cool, yeah.
It's really cool to hear that come to be, and you know, what these folks inspire in each other, and just sort of sit back and go,
we did that, man.
We did a good thing there.
You did a good thing.
Yeah. And it can't ever be about money. If it's, I mean, and it's not about money with us, and it's not about money with the artists. So we know what we're up against, you know.
You know, though, you guys are putting out some such great music, and that's at the end of the day, that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
You're giving these guys a place to exist, and you're helping them out, and you know that's all anybody
They
can
get a
ask for.
context and a scene. Yeah.
But we couldn't do it without people like you, you know.
You emailed me, guys. I would never heard you if you didn't email me.
And yet here we are.
And here we are.
You know,
we're going to do it again in January, and we'll do it again in February, and we'll do it in March, and we'll just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so important that the whole ecosphere, everyone that's a part of it, it's so important.
That's good. I'm just happy to be a part of it. You know, like between you and you guys set me up with Wally. Like I talked to him. Like I said, I talked to him last night. Great guy. He was cool.
Yeah.
Total sponge for musical knowledge, though. Hey, just like I don't mean like it's good. It was crazy. We just
you'll never actually get Keith Klingensmith on the air, but he's
future man.
He's an equally brilliant heart and soul dude. Have you seen the things about the tribute to 2020?
No.
By 2020, I don't mean the year, which sucks, but the band, which is good. Yeah, 20/20. That was that's coming out very, very soon too. That's so yeah, 2020 was they're actually, I think they're from Oklahoma, and they had a couple of really, really classic sort of new wave power pop records, obscure but classic, in the late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
And they're like, a keystone artist for influence for a lot of our guys. And so Keith at Future Man, in addition to putting out a lot of really great records by a lot of really cool bands based in Detroit, every year we'll do at least one tribute to an artist. So like last year it was XTC, and we fucked up. We were supposed to be on that and we forgot. We didn't finish our song in time, but it may appear soon anyway.
I'm there.
But yeah, so he'll have like all these great artists, and it's the ones that they're on our label, they're on Spider Pop, they're independents, and sometimes it's like other legacy artists, and they'll all pick a song by the XTC in that case, 2020 in this case, and it'll be a benefit, and they're great. And so the XTC thing, you should definitely
I'll check it.
hook up with Keith and check into that. But the one that's coming out is 2020, and I think it's got 6 Big Stir artists on it too. So
that's awesome.
To all intents and purposes, it's a co-release.
Yeah.
The bands, it's a really good record. And the bands that, even if you don't know the original songs, they fit the bands like a glove.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool little tribute.
I'm really proud of what we did too.
Yeah, we did pretty well on that one. Did pretty well on that. That was the first time we got John on record with us playing drums, I think.
Nice.
And I got to scream.
You got to scream.
Yeah, we screamed. Yeah. Brother Steve are on that. Irene is on that. Librarians with Hickeys are on that. Chris Church is on that. Not that he's on our label or anything like that. Yeah, see, these are the rewards you get if you get this far in. Right?
That's
Like
right.
get little stuff. Robbie Rist is on that. You ever talk to you about Robbie? Robbie's a cool, interesting guy.
Is he?
Did you watch the Brady Bunch?
Yep.
Do you remember Cousin Oliver? He was like in the last season.
Last
I
season,
think so.
they
Blonde,
yeah.
full cut with glasses.
Yeah.
and then the show gets canceled.
So-
I mean,
Yeah.
that's Robbie.
Is it?
He's a
Robbie.
brilliant musician.
And he was
Brilliant
on the
guy.
fucking Brady Bunch.
A
Yeah.
zillion bands on our scene for a long time. Great songwriter, great live performer, and yet the whole time you just kind of acknowledge that he is Cousin Oliver.
But he's got this show called The Spoon you ought to find and listen to. It's fun.
Spoon. Okay. I'll check
The
it out.
Spoon. It's an interview. It's a music interview show too.
Nice.
And Robbie's just Robbie's irascible. Robbie's brilliant, but he's so passionate about everything, and
It's so snarky at the same time.
Snarky.
yeah, and snarky too. But he's got a heart of gold too. So, but just
Such a
brilliant
great
musician. He's into 70s AM radio songs.
Nice.
He likes those.
That's cool.
So he
We
does a
go
lot of
out and play
covers.
them like the Ramones songs, So it's pretty. He's in one of his bands, one of his many projects. Also has John Porak, our drummer, and
Karen Bassett.
Karen Bassett on bass.
Okay.
We're about to release our next single has John on drums on one side and Karen on drums on the other side.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Pretty weird.
So,
That's the XTC song that we never finished. But we were supposed to be on that compilation. We were working on it last year, and yeah, Karen played drums for it. She recorded the drums for it, and we were like, neat. And
Yeah.
Christina played the piano, and then we just
That was it.
got distracted.
yeah.
So-
You got busy. It happens.
But it was kind of cool that we got Jules from Charms Against the Evil Eye over in Oxford to play bass on it. Dolph plays on it. Blake Jones is on it.
Jesus.
Blake Jones was in town, dropped by right after we